So in this tutorial series, I'm going to go over the robot operating system ROS2, and there are two versions of ROS, ROS1 and ROS2. I'm going over ROS2 because it's the most updated version. And another advantage of using ROS2 is that we can utilize it we can operate it in Windows. So let's go over lecture 1, which is ROS2 command execution process. So here I'm gonna basically be going over the Windows and the operating systems, rough overview, and how the execution process works. So for ROS2, the advantage is that we can use this on Windows through WSL that allows Ubuntu to operate. So what is Ubuntu? Ubuntu is an operating system like the Windows, and Linux is the kernel or the core of Ubuntu operating system. So basically, Ubuntu operating system is a Linux distribution. So we want to utilize Ubuntu for operating ROS, and that can be done in inside our Windows operating system as well. But for that, we would need something that is called WSL. WSL is short form for Windows subsystem for Linux. So this allows the Linux distribution like Ubuntu to run inside Windows. So now let's jump into the execution process. Here, as we open the terminal where we write our command, after we execute our command, this goes to step 2, where this is the ROS2 software. The ROS2 receives the command, and then that request goes to the Ubuntu, the Linux operating system, and then that is passed to the Linux kernel where this is processed. And after this is processed, this goes to the WSL2 that translates this command or request, and that finally goes to the to our Windows that is accommodating all of this, and that interacts with computer hardware. That hardware eventually executes the request, and after the request is executed, then the result from the execution goes again back to the Windows, and then to the WSL, and back to Linux kernel, and to Ubuntu operating system where we have the ROS2, and then there we can see the output. So this is the execution process when we use ROS2 and write a command that goes through all this process to give us some output. And then in the next lecture, I'm gonna go over like how to about the basic commands in Linux that can be utilized and that are useful for working with ROS. Thank you.